One of the most amazing experiences of my life was having a conversation with a medical intuitive. And the first thing she said about me, and she knew nothing about me, was, "Whoa, Janet, there are so many books in your energetic field all around your head." She said, "You must need a lot of sleep." I said, "Well, yeah, actually, I do." But I never connected the dots that all of these books that are waiting in line to be birthed by me are requiring of me that I get a lot of rest. Now, this was really interesting to me on a lot of levels, but it confirmed something that had happened the year before. I was going to be late turning in the manuscript for Soul Files, and I felt very badly about that. But I wrote to my publisher, and she wrote back immediately, and she said, "Take your time. Write the book that wants to be written." Do you hear that? Write the book in your energetic field because it's alive. It knows what it's going to look like. It knows what it's here to say. Write that book. And so I did. And I think you know many of the others. Writing Down Your Soul, Find Your Soul's Purpose is coming out next March. The Lotus and the Lily. And another book that I wasn't expecting to come out of my energetic field was a coloring book, a brand new partnership with Christine Pensa. I did not plan this in any way, shape, or form. So that means it really was alive and waiting for me to notice. Well, the same thing is happening with you. And my course, which I started in 2010, Plug-in for Writers, is designed for exactly this purpose, to help you give birth to the book that has chosen you, is waiting for you to notice. Now, if you know anything about Plug-in for Writers, you know that for years, I have talked about these two circles overlapping to create a Vesica-Pisces shape. This is the theta brainwave state. This is the Vesica-Pisces shape, that all of the energy, all of the creativity, all of that flow comes flying through. And of course, as your spiritual practice overlaps with your craft of writing, and that shape gets bigger, 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 things that fall out of the sky, things happen that you didn't even ask for, you didn't even plan. Well, this year, something unique happened with Plug-in for Writers. My agent called me one day and said she'd been to this big event, and they stressed that a successful writer has to be able to handle three major components: the writing, of course, and the marketing, because it doesn't matter, you could be published by Penguin, you're still going to be a marketing genius whether you like it or not. And then understanding, and this is a part that a lot of writers so don't get, publishing is a business. Whether you're the publisher in self-publishing or you're working as I am with a traditional publisher, it's a business. And you have to understand how it's run as a business. So I thought about this, okay, three things. And then I went, no, maybe I'm the only writing teacher talking about it, but a successful writing life has four components. Because the piece that's missing, that nobody else is talking about, is this spiritual practice. And it's the spiritual practice that overlaps, opens, and expands, and you can see all that creativity, all that juice, and all that success flying in. And so I invite you, I've never done this before. I usually just put out a newsletter and say Plug-in for Writers is opening, and poof, it's filled. And it will. I don't have to do this. It would fill this year as it fills every year. But I want to. I want to invite you to be with me for an hour on Sunday afternoon, August 7th, 1 o'clock Eastern, so that our friends in Europe can be with us. And for an hour, I'd like to tell you a little about those four components. I'd like to tell you about the intersection. I'd like to tell you about the theta brainwave state. I'd like to tell you a little bit about what is so unique about Plug-in for Writers, because it does address that mystical component. I promise you, other writing classes are not talking about these books waiting in your energetic field for you to give birth to them. And I'd like to introduce you to a graduate. There are dozens of people that could come and talk to you about the impact of plug-in for writers, but I've asked Christine Wheeler to be with us because her book just came out from Hay House, The Tapping Solution for Teenage Girls. So not only is she going to tell us the story of how plug-in for writers, especially the work before the work, the course is divided in two, the work before the work, and then because you're ready, you've done the work before the work, I'll introduce you to my village, including Joanne Deck, my publishing consultant and the best proposal doctor out there. It was Joanne Deck that took Christine Wheeler to Hay House. Well, Christine is an expert on tapping, right? So not only is she going to tell us what a difference plug-in for writers made in her life, but she is going to tap with us so that if you have any, about saying yes to these books in your energetic field waiting to be born through you, Christine is going to help us tap through so that you are open to say yes to the books that want to be born through you. Come. All you have to do is sign up. You'll get a link to Maestro. This is just a little teleconference event. Of course, there's no cost. And at the end, you know what? I've never done this. I have a very special gift to give everybody because it is 2016. It is the year of the double divine feminine. And I do embody Sophia, the divine feminine, every single day. And therefore, she suggested that I give you a very special gift. And I'll announce it at the end of our little Sunday afternoon together. Join me. Because there are books in your field, poems, screenplays, speeches, waiting to be born through you.